Let's make some noise for.
That would be me. Early evening sports buffet with the Ginch. Taste the victory, savor the night. I am said Ginch, Ryan F., your host. If you see a dingy cat go in and out of the picture, that is because my sister's cat seems to be going back and forth. But welcome to another program of Early Evening Sports Buffet with the Ginch, where we cover the top headlines of the day. I try and run through as many sports as I can, give you some updates. Some of the top headlines of the day. Jordan Love, I think I said this yesterday, or maybe I didn't. He underwent surgery to repair a ligament injury to his thumb on his left hand, which really, to be honest with you, they can numb that up. So I don't think it's going to affect him in any way. Might be a little painful when they snap the ball because when you're under center, you have your left hand on top. Maybe some guys do it the other way. I always used to go left hand top, right hand bottom. But they said it doesn't seem to be anything major from what I was reading. It says here that he tried to play through the injury, but he ultimately decided to have the procedure done. But I don't think it's going to affect him in any way. And again, if there's some lingering issues, I'm sure from game to game they will numb it up and they'll probably wrap it and they'll be fine. Oklahoma's John Mateer says he never bet on sports. It was an inside joke. This is reported by David Purdom. Espen. The starting quarterback said after screenshots of past, let's see. After screenshots, I'll just read this verbatim. After screenshots of past references to sports gambling on his Venmo account surfaced online Monday, he denied ever being involved with gambling, saying Tuesday it was instead inside jokes with his friends. Okay. School officials became aware of the screenshots late Monday night and are looking into the situation. ESPN's Pete Thamel reported. Mateer basically said the allegations that I once participated in sports gambling are false. Posted that to X. My previous Venmo descriptions did not accurately portray the transactions in question, but were instead inside jokes between me and my friends. Something smells afoot. But he says, I've never been on sports. I understand the seriousness of the matter. Recognize that. Taken out of context, those Venmo descriptions suggest otherwise. I can assure my teammates, coaches, and officials at the NCAA that I have not engaged in any sports gambling. And a partridge in a pear tree, we will see. Again, you're going to see more and more of this with NIL money. And it's just, I said before, and I'll say it again. Once you open Pandora's box with transfer portals and NIL deals and the whole schmagiggy, giving players Lamborghinis and all that stuff, can't put the lid back on the box. Just can't do it. Unfortunately for Rondale Moore, receiver for the Vikings, he is injured for the second year in a row, a season-ending injury. The injury took place in Saturday's preseason game against the Texans. The team confirmed Tuesday his MRI test results were positive for significant knee. This is reported by Kevin Seifert, Espen. Last year he got healthy, got injured. Missed 9 games in 2022 because of a variety of injuries, and then all of 2024 last year when he, if you remember, he dislocated his right knee when he was in training camp with the Falcons. Again, this is the part of preseason that I hate. Guys getting hurt. What is the point of preseason games? People will argue. I'll argue with people all day. I would rather see teams just have inter-squad scrimmages. Let's just say regional. Baltimore can go play Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh can go play Cleveland. I mean, let's just stick it to regional inter-squad scrimmages. But again, you will see more and more of this. Unfortunately. Sha'Carri Richardson addresses arrest. She apologizes to her boyfriend. It's reported by the Associated Press. She addressed a recent domestic violence arrest in a video on social media and issued an apology to her boyfriend, Christian Coleman. She posted a video on her Instagram account Monday night in which she said she put herself in a compromised situation. She issued a written apology to Coleman on Tuesday morning. I love him, quote unquote. I love him, and to him I can't apologize enough. She is the reigning 100-meter world champion. She was arrested July 27th on a 4th-degree domestic violence offense at the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. She was booked into South Correctional Entity in Des Moines, Washington, for more than 18 hours. My man Norm Deal checking in. Love the show, Ryan. Thank you, Norm. I aim to please. In the video, Richardson says she's practicing self-reflection and refuses to run away but face everything that comes to me head on. Well, thank God that there's an athlete that takes accountability for their actions. That's refreshing to see. Even though the situation is a little messed up, it's refreshing to see an athlete come out and say, yes, I'm taking accountability for this, and I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to be a better person. If you're living under a rock, John Gruden won his case against the NFL. About the leaked emails that said had ruined his coaching career, but he's won that case. He said, quote unquote, I'm looking forward to having the truth come out, and I want to make sure what happened to me doesn't happen to anyone else. The league's actions disrupted the whole season. This was back in, I think it was 2021 when they were 3-1, and then it all went to hell. We were leading divisions at the time, and it completely blindsided me and the team. He added, what happened wasn't right, and I'm glad the court didn't let the NFL cover it up. I'll just read verbatim here. This is reported by Don Van Natta Jr., Espen. In a 5-2 ruling, the justices did not determine whether the league had leaked Gruden's racist, sexist, and anti-game emails to the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times at the time, but they found the league's decision to force Gruden's complaint into closed-door arbitration proceedings overseen by Goodell, the target of Gruden's civil lawsuit, was unconscionable. Never mind the emails that he sent were of credence. Don't know whether he'll ever coach again at the NFL level or college level. I'm sure he'll get a shot. Read the article on ESPN. I'm not going to go through the whole schmagiggy of it, but Gruden wins the case. There's a lot of whole gobbledygook as far as courts and laws and stuff. That's above my pay grade. So I'm not going to get into the jurisprudence of everything. Just looking over some other stuff here. Did anybody see Taylor Swift on Kelsey's podcast? Oh, and by the way, she's releasing a new album. Whatever. Whatever. I'm not a Swiftie. I don't really know a lot of Swifties. I'm sure there'll be stuff on her album about Kelsey. Who knows? She usually always finds material in her relationships, and I'm sure this will be no different. Let's go to Major League Baseball, shall we? Scores from yesterday. This might be a quick show just from the standpoint of not a lot of over the top news. Full slate in Major League Baseball. Anthony Robish. Yes, Anthony. He could win, but I bet he gets blackballed due to the social justice BS the league tries to support. Yeah, I mean, I know he won the case. Look, there's a whole lot of like legalities and stuff that I'm not even going to try and go over. But yes, he most definitely wrote the emails. That is obvious. It's just that who would take the chance on him, NFL wise or college wise? He doesn't have the patience for college players. He just doesn't. I don't even think Bill Belichick has the patience for college players, even though he says he's going to run it like an NFL program there in North Carolina. Gruden, if he goes back to college, forget it. He doesn't want to deal with NIL. He wouldn't want to deal with transfer portals, XYZ. It's just it's too much aggravation for him and his temperament. But in the NFL, maybe, just maybe, there's an organization that would take another shot. But he would be watched like a hawk. I guarantee it. Major League Baseball scores from yesterday. That would have been Monday, by the way. Phillies beat the Reds 4-1. The Yankees beat the Twins 6-2. Tigers beat the White Sox 2-1. Brewers beat the Pirates 7-1. Royals beat the Nationals 7-4. Cardinals beat the Rockies 3-2. Rangers beat the Diamondbacks 7-6. Astros beat the Red Sox 7-6. Angels beat the Dodgers 7-4. The Padres beat the Giants 4-1. The Rays over the Athletics, who don't have a home. They won 7-4. Full slate today. Right now ongoing, the Mariners up on the Orioles 1-0. That's in the third. In the second, the Guardians up on the Marlins 2-0. Right now, end of the third, the Phillies and the Reds are scoreless. Top of the first, Twins, Yankees scoreless. Cubs, Blue Jays scoreless. Braves, Mets scoreless. Tigers, White Sox scoreless. Later on, Pirates at the Brewers, Nationals at the Royals, Rockies at the Cardinals, Diamondbacks at the Rangers, Red Sox at the Astros, Dodgers at the Angels, Padres at the Giants, and the Rays at the Athletics. Went over the standings yesterday. Some teams, though, that are in trouble. Don't look now, but the Padres are only a game back of the Dodgers. Well, someone tried to tell me about a month and a half ago, can't remember who it was, that the Padres were going to be right there. Looked like the Dodgers were going to run away with the division, but the Padres have caught fire a little bit. Again, I went over this yesterday. The New York Mets have shit the bed. Phillies have taken control of the division. The Brewers seem to have control of the Central in the National League. The American League East, again, Blue Jays right now, a little bit of a comfortable lead. In the Central, the Guardians have caught fire. Don't look now, Detroit Tigers, but Guardians are only 6.5 back. And in the West, in the American League, looked like the Astros were going to pull away a little bit, but the Mariners have caught fire. They're 9-1 in their last 10, and they have cut the Astros lead to 1. The fight for the wild card going to be interesting because if the season ended today, the Blue Jays, Tigers, and the Astros would win the division in the East. Looks like the wild card would go to Seattle, Boston, and the Yankees. National League at the playoff. If it ended today, the Phillies, Brewers, and the Dodgers would win the division. The wild cards would go to the Padres, the Cubs, and the Mets. All of that means nothing. Doesn't mean anything to me. You have to prove it to me in the playoffs. I've seen teams a la the Seattle Mariners years ago when they won the most games in baseball and they got knocked out. Doesn't mean anything. You have to stay healthy and you have to have the pitching. And if you take a look at the pitching across the board in Major League Baseball this year, just go look at team ERAs and individuals ERAs. It's pathetic. I've never seen anything like that in any baseball season, period. Period. Like the fundamentals of pitching have gone by the wayside. There's pitchers with too many pitches in their arsenal. They don't know how to set people up. Period. And again, I can't stand like starting pitchers only go, well, he's pitched 5 innings and he's at 80 pitches, or so what? Big deal. You know, if you got if your team's up 2-1 and you're in the 5th inning, unless someone really, really gets in trouble. I just come from an era where you had pitchers complete games here, complete games there. They might have had 6 or 7 complete games in a season. NFL news, like I said, I didn't like really. And let me just say this about the NFL in preseason yet again, which I can't stand. Are there quarterbacks, and let's just focus on the quarterbacks this past weekend. I should have gone over the scores yesterday, but to me, it's just it doesn't make any sense to me preseason anymore because it really doesn't prove anything. If you want to have preseason to see who makes the team, whatever. But like Cam Ward and Jackson Dart and some of these other quarterbacks, let's just zip it for a minute because it doesn't prove anything. It just proves that they look decent in the preseason against 2nd or 3rd string, mostly 3rd string. And then people have these asinine comments about, oh, well, Shador looked fantastic. He's going to make all the other teams that passed on him. Ridiculous. Just put the brakes on a little bit, please. Let's just not get that's asinine to say. You need to see them in the regular season, in regular season situations. Now, last year I was right on a lot of the rookie quarterbacks. The 2 I was wrong on, Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels. I said that they would struggle, and they didn't. They had great rookie seasons, but let's see how they do this year in their sophomore season, because now defensive coordinators have tapes on them from last year to see what their tendencies are, what their good tendencies are, what their bad tendencies are. And when you study film over and over and over again, like a lot of these defensive coordinators do, they will prey on your bad tendencies. Anthony Robish, Shador Sanders balls out with 100. Yeah, it's ridiculous. His dad's PR team working overtime, of course. Let's just pump the brakes a little bit because that's what I can't stand. People who watch preseason faithfully make me laugh. Yes, it's football. I get it, but I don't watch any of the preseason. I watch none of it because it doesn't mean anything to me. You know what? Week 1 means a lot to me in the NFL when it actually kicks off. That's That's the most important for me is week number 1, because now we're into the nitty gritty of it. Now it's for real. The preseason stuff, forget it. Let's see what else. Jets backup quarterback Tyrod Taylor. He has had knee surgery. He's iffy for week 1. Not going to start anyway. But it'd be nice to have him as a backup. He had a minor scope of the knee, whatever that means. Said that he will try to be ready for the season opener. And of course, here comes the cat. Wants to make an appearance. That's right. You want to get in there? Okay. Well, he made his appearance now. He's done for the preseason from what they were saying. Hopefully he'll be back in time to back up week 1 as they get ready for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm sure they will be cautious with him. You don't want to bring him back too soon, obviously. James Cook is back to Bills practice amid contract disputes, which I really think that's any player that's in a contract dispute, just show up. Just show up. Show up to practice. If you don't practice, whatever. But at least show up. I'll keep harping on this with Mike Evans last year. Didn't have a contract. I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago. I think it was last year. He showed up to practice. He balled out. He still wasn't under contract, and they finally got something done. I think other players should take that lead. Myles Garrett, ladies and gentlemen, just another player who thinks that they're Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, or Mario Andretti. He was cited for driving 100 miles an hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone early Sunday morning in a Cleveland suburb. A team spokesperson said the Browns are aware of the situation. The report basically says Garrett was pulled over at 2:01 a.m. in Strongville, Ohio, according to records. He was given a $250 fine and does not have to appear in court Thursday morning if he pays it. Okay. Again, players getting out of control behind the wheel. Sooner or later, something is going to take place, a la Rashid Rice last year. But you never want to see that. Major League Baseball news. The World Series is set. First game, October 24th. They have nixed the flex start. Man, that's late, isn't it? Just reading over let's see. Game 7 of this year's World Series, if necessary, will be November 1st, which is insane to me. Just insane. It's like, what, 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving, and you're still playing baseball? The Houston Astros have put closer Hader on the IL. He has a shoulder strain. The Orioles continue to mount injuries. Eflin and Batista, they are lost for the season. And it just continues to get better and better with Shohei Ohtani and his agent. This is reported by the Associated Press. Ohtani, an agent accused of sabotaging $250 million Hawaii real estate project. And I'm just going to read this verbatim. A Hawaii real estate investor and broker are suing Shohei Ohtani, claiming the Los Angeles Dodgers star and his agent got them fired from a $240 million luxury housing development on the Big Island's coveted Hapuna Coast that they brought him in to endorse. According to said lawsuit filed in Hawaii Circuit Court on Friday, Ohtani's agent, Nez Balelo, increasingly demanded concessions from developer Kevin J. Hayes Sr. and real estate broker Tomoko Matsumoto before demanding that their business partner, Kings Barn Realty Capital, drop them from said deal. And Otani, who were brought into the venture solely for Otani's promotional and branding value, exploited their celebrity leverage to destabilize and ultimately dismantle plaintiffs' role in the project for no reason other than their own financial self-interest, the lawsuit claims. And again, I'm just going to read this verbatim. The suit accuses Otani and Bellello of tortious interference and unjust enrichment. Hayes, a developer with 40 years of experience, and Matsumoto, who was to be the listing agent for the houses averaging $17.3 million each, say that Otani and Bellello also tried to undermine their interests in a second neighboring venture. And again, a whole lot of gobbledygook as far as legalities and stuff. I'm sure more and more will come out. Again, a lot of people are saying that the agent took the fall and the blame for Otani in all of this. Oh, and do I have to remind everybody that last year Otani did sign a 10-year, $70 million contract, $700 million contract? What does he need other money for? You're almost a billionaire. You're probably a billionaire with all the other endorsement deals that you get. It boggles the mind, to be quite honest with you. Really does. Let's jump to the WNBA. I think there was only one game last night. The Valkyries beat the Sun, the hapless Sun, 74-57. Tonight, Wings are at the Fever, and the Liberty are at the Sparks. Caitlin Clark still not practicing. She still has the injury. The Fever seem to be surviving without her right now. Aja Wilson is the first WNBA player in history with a 30-point, 20-rebound game. She will probably win back-to-back MVPs. Hell of a player. New York Liberty's Breanna Stewart. She's targeting an end of August return. The Liberty really need her. Oh, and I found this disturbing. There was a crypto group says it orchestrated sex toy tosses in WNBA games, which is disgusting. This is reported by Katie Barnes, also of ESPN. A self-described cryptocurrency enthusiast told ESPN that he is part of a group that orchestrated recent sex toy stunts that have disrupted at least 3 WNBA games in the past 10 days. The man who spoke on the condition of anonymity, go figure, over a video conference Wednesday said the stunts were meant to market a crypto coin that his online community created. WNBA said all its the WNBA and all its controversy, he said, made the league a social target. What are you, a dumbass? It's just that's idiocy. He said it was more or less like an opportunistic approach to what is already trending. He said, "But the dildos are trending." Whereas there already controversy in how do we intercept some of that attention? Come on, man. The man who uses Lieutenant Daldo Rain as his username on X, Anadi said to the Brad Pitt character in the movie Inglourious Basterds, kept his camera off and refused to give his name or age during the call with ESPN. The group, he said, wants to reclaim the creative and community aspects of the crypto world. If you're not going to put your face to it and your real name, you're a rat bastard. You are a coward. Period. you are just looking for attention or attention shouldn't be warranted, you're an idiot. Period. And again, this is a fairly lengthy article. It would take me about 5 minutes to read everything. But I have no patience. I have no tolerance for stupidity like this. I just don't. It's asinine. It makes no sense. I don't really follow MMA. I used to follow it in its early stages. But Paramount and the TKO Group reached a 7-year deal for all UFC events in the United States. Deal has an average annual value of $1.1 billion, the companies said. Under the deal, Paramount will exclusively distribute the UFC's full slate of its 13 marquee numbered events and 30 fight nights on its streaming platform, Paramount, with select numbered events also set to simulcast on CBS starting next year. So Dana White continues to get richer and richer. MMA will continue to get bigger and bigger. Again, I don't follow it as much as I used to. Some of it, I got into the business of watching main events for like 4 or 5 months in a row, and it turned out to be hogwash. Normally, the main event, probably 65-70% of the time, doesn't live up to the billing. That's just my experience with it. The English Premier League kicks off this weekend. I think I mentioned that yesterday. I will go to the schedule, as they say over in Europe and England. I believe it kicks off Friday, Premier League. I would go over all the other soccer leagues, but that would take me 2 hours because there's so many of them in Europe. Yes. So let's go to Friday. That would be August 15th. Can't remember, in the middle of August already. Yes, Liverpool will host Bournemouth. Liverpool should win easy. And then on Saturday, Aston Villa will host Newcastle United. Brighton will host Fulham. Sunderland hosts West Ham. Tottenham hosts Burnley, and Wolverhampton will host Manchester City. Some good matchups there. And then on Sunday, as we close out the weekend, Chelsea will host Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest will host Brentford, and Man United will host Arsenal. And I think there's one game on Monday, from what I remember. And I think, yes, it's Leeds hosting Everton. So, soccer fans rejoice. The English Premier League is back. Again, college football had student body right yesterday. Again, we are. Oh, and I wanted to bring up some betting stuff for college football the very first week, since I'm a betting man when it comes to football. And give me just a second while I pull it up. Week number 1, or as they call it, week 0. Right now, Kansas State's favored by 3 over Iowa State. That's in Dublin. UNLV has opened up as a 25.5-point favorite against Idaho State. Right now, Kansas is a 14.5-point favorite over Fresno State. Western Kentucky, a 7-point favorite over Sam Houston. And my Verizon pan continues to buffer. Stanford, a slight favorite over Hawaii. 2.5-point favorite. And as we get into about 2 weeks from now, when really the season will kick off, full slate, Boise State has opened up as a 10-point favorite against South Florida. Rutgers, 10.5-point favorite over Ohio. These games are all on Thursday the 28th. North Carolina State, 14-point favorite over East Carolina. Central Florida, 16.5-point favorite over Jacksonville State. Wyoming has opened up as a 9.5-point favorite over Akron. Some others are off the board just because they're not going to have lines. Minnesota has opened up as an 18.5-point favorite over Buffalo. Buffalo, one of the favorites to win the MAC this year. Alaska is a 6.5-point favorite over Cincinnati right now. Wisconsin, 17.5-point favorite over Miami of Ohio right now. And then on August 29th, which is a Friday. Right now, Appalachian State, 8.5-point favorite over Charlotte. Wake Forest, 7. Michigan State, 17.5-point favorite over Western Michigan. Auburn, 1.5 favorite over Baylor. Georgia Tech, 3.5-point favorite over Colorado. UNLV, 13.5-point favorite over Sam Houston. San Jose State, 10.5-point favorite over Central Michigan. Has opened up as a 16.5-point favorite over Ball State. Tennessee, a 12.5-point favorite over the Cuse. Maryland, a 17.5-point favorite over Florida Atlantic. Bet at your own risk. Ohio State, still a 3-point favorite over Texas. Tulane, a 7.5-point favorite over Northwestern. Mississippi State, 15.5-point favorite over Southern Miss. Kentucky, a 12.5-point favorite over Toledo. Toledo, another favorite in the MAC. Indiana, a 23.5-point favorite over Old Dominion. Penn State, 43.5-point favorite over Nevada. UMass is a 1.5 favorite over Temple. Georgia, 38.5-point favorite over Marshall. Alabama has opened up as an 11.5-point favorite over Florida State. And a partridge in a pear tree. Just looking over some of these lines, other lines. If you're going to bet on Michigan, they're a 34.5-point favorite over New Mexico. Which I will not go over because there is a shitload of them. So you can bet at your own risk. I know I go nuts on the first week because I usually bet the high lines just because they say if the line is tremendously high, you're supposed to take the favorite because more often than not they will cover. Just trying to look over some other news notes and headlines. Oh, you know what? I haven't done this in a long time. Before I end this particular show, coming away to click zone 10. Because now my laptop is buffering. It's a little segment I like to call
Your major malfunction, numbnuts.
Aaron Rodgers is bitching again. It's not like the new helmet that he's wearing. He's always bitching about something. He is the subject of he says, I don't like it. I'm trying to change. We're in the process still. It looks like a damn spaceship out there. We've got to change it. The face mask doesn't fit the helmet because that's an old face mask. Obviously, just like I'm old, but we're trying to find the right helmet right now. Huh. He goes on to say, can't stand the helmet. I've worn a shoot for 20 years and somehow it finally didn't pass the safety standard. That should be the least of your worries, your helmet. He's just, oh, it's just go into your dark room, smoke some peyote, relax, relax. It's just a helmet. You should be worried about reading the defense, handing the ball off, getting the ball to the receivers and the tight ends and the running backs, and not throwing interceptions. The least of your worries should be about your helmet. Thus concludes this week's.
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts? What is your major malfunction, numbnuts?
Oh my God. As I end each show, practice compassion, practice empathy, have passion for what you do. Hug somebody today, you might make their day. Tell somebody you love them. You might not get a second opportunity. And for the love of Christ, if you see somebody struggling for whatever reason, ask, inquire, ask them what's wrong. You might just be saving a life. So, with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do. Dandy Don, take me out.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.